The Book of Mormon is an unusual book in the sense that it demands a verdict from its readers. And I want to tell a personal story. Many years ago, I came to know a very prominent pastor. Got to know him, met him, had a lengthy conversation with him, attended his services in the morning and in the evening, heard him preach. He's a powerful preacher. I've probably read 20 of his books. He's a gifted writer. And for a period of years, we corresponded. I would write and ask him a question about something. He'd write and ask me a question. Or if he had a new book come out, he'd send it to me. Or if I had a new book come out, I'd send it to him. And this friendship persisted. And every time I was in his area, I would stop and we'd visit and talk for a while. We knew there were differences. We knew there were big differences between us theologically. But there was a friendship that developed. And then there was a period where I didn't hear from him. And out of the blue, I received a letter. I've kept this letter, in which he said, "Dear Bob, I consider you a dear friend, and friendship should always be built upon truth. So therefore, I need to express to you what I believe to be the truth. And I want to talk with you about the Book of Mormon." And he said, "I cannot accept the silly, superficial explanations given for how the Book of Mormon came from those who claim it was a product of Solomon Spaulding or Ethan Smith or any of those ridiculous ways of coming forth." He said, "I don't buy that. That's too simplistic. The Book of Mormon," he said, "is too complex for that." At this point, I'm reading the letter. I'm thinking, well, this is getting exciting. And then he drops the other shoe. He says, "Therefore, I have concluded after long thought that the only possibility is that the Book of Mormon was dictated by a demon to Joseph Smith." I remember reading that. I remember thinking to myself, he's read many of my books. He knows how I feel. He knows how Latter-day Saints feel on this. I've sent him a small library of what we believe. And for about 2 weeks, I just seethed. I was angry. I was ticked off. I thought, how could he say such a thing? I was so mad. And then at about the 2-week mark, it began to dawn on me. Well, bless his heart. What else could he say? He's already said, it's not of man. It certainly can't be of God. That only leaves one other option. It's of the devil. Well, the Book of Mormon demands a verdict. It presses its readers. It is bold enough to say on several occasions, to have prophet leaders say, it will be one of the means by which people are judged. That's harsh. Those who reject it will be damned, it says. Now, my goodness, that's not a way to win friends and influence people, but that's what it says. I was thinking of this statement from Elder Bruce R. McConkie. And it's pretty strong, as he often was. "The time is long past for quibbling about words or for hurling unsavory epithets against the Latter-day Saints. These are deep and solemn and ponderous matters. We do not think we can trifle with sacred things and escape the wrath of a just God. Either the Book of Mormon is true or it is false. Either it came from God or it was spawned in the infernal realms. It declares plainly that all men must accept it as pure Scripture or they will lose their souls. It is not and cannot be simply another treatise on religion. It either came from heaven or from hell. And it is time for all those who seek salvation to find out for themselves whether it is of the Lord or of Lucifer." Typically Elder Bruce R. McConkie. And so I think the Book of Mormon presses for an answer. The superficial doubter, the superficial critic will just say, well, obviously it's of the devil, and pays no price to know. Pays no price to know. In fact, I think I would add, I think I heard Elder Gene R. Cook of the 70s say this once, it's probably an accident if a person who is a critic a serious critic of the Book of Mormon, comes to it and tries to prove it false and becomes converted to it. He said, I'm sure those things happen, but it's a real accident. Why? He said, because I think, in the words of the poet, there must be a willful suspension of disbelief as you approach the book. You've got to put on the shelf your proclivities, your predispositions about its falsehood. And if you're willing to do that and just let the book speak for itself and let the Spirit of God speak from the book, you're going to feel and learn some things. And so I think the Book of Mormon, maybe in many ways more than the Bible, pushes for an answer. Study it, read it, ponder it, ask God, find out. And so in that sense, it's an unusual book.